We are attempting to look at the North Shore Mountains, totally shrouded in cloud cover there, but expecting lots of snow coming later this week at about 1,000 meters or above. So the backcountry enthusiasts are going to be out there for sure. The federal government, by the way, recently announced a $25 million cash injection for Avalanche Canada that will go into search and rescue, but also awareness. And that's where Dave Norona comes in to tell us about avalanche safety and awareness.
Right.
Dave, that's your forte. So what do we need to go, know before we go out there?
Right. And one of the things I wanted to say in that note with Avalanche Canada, we lost a very instrumental person in the backcountry yesterday, not to an avalanche, but it doesn't really matter. It was an incident, and we wish Rene St. Orange rest in peace and in love to his family, because he was an instrumental guy in search and rescue through the province, and especially up in the Revelstoke, Sicamous, and Whistler area. So
thanks for his work, and thanks for you for bringing it
and very important that why we're here today, and thanks to have us in here. It's really important that everybody who goes out in the backcountry, because we want people to go back there. It's beautiful. We have the best place in the world to discover all this stuff.
Sure do.
We just want people to get informed and carry first of all, we have the 10 essentials, which are a little bit of gear that, like a lighter, matches, extra food and water, a down jacket.
So even when it's warm, this is when we run into problems all the time. It's warm down here in the city. People get into the backcountry, beautiful sunny day, and they run into snow and cold conditions, and they aren't prepared with jackets.
Exactly. Or you're working out and you're moving, so you're warm, and then you have to stop to help somebody, and you get cold really quickly. So this is the stuff that's really designed to keep you staying alive through a night. If you're going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to have enough stuff that's going to allow that.
What's in the pouch here?
So this is actually, especially for winter, this is just a bigger bivvy instead of sort of a summer one that's a space blanket. This is something that I carry that's a little bit bigger.
It still weighs ounces.
Totally. We're talking about all this stuff can fit in your backpack, and that's really important. That can be the fun of it, is trying to find the lightest, smallest stuff, but it also works really well.
Okay, now these are safety communication devices. Tell us about that.
Right, and this is brand new from Backcountry Access. This is the BC Link 2.0 radio, because communication is essential in the backcountry. This would be between users. So if you were a skier or snowmobile or snowboarder, snowshoer, you'd all have a radio, and then you can communicate in that way. If you see problems, or you run into problems, or you just say where you're going to stop for lunch, if your group splits up, this is how you communicate.
What's the range of something like this?
So they've just increased the wattage. So actually the range is always really surprising. If you're on the mountain, you can hear the person. It's pretty incredible.
Anywhere.
Yeah, it's amazing how well this technology works.
And what's this here, Dave?
So this is an InReach from Garmin, and this is actually your communication to the outside world.
Okay, so is this like a satellite phone?
Exactly. This is in a way better than a satellite phone.
Really?
Because a satellite phone needs constant communication with the satellite. This, you would write your message, hit the button, and it goes to the satellite and back down. So the problem you get in with sat phones is it can be spotty, and you can't understand the people. This way you can send a message, and you can also...
as soon as the link up happens, the message is sent and received.
Right, and the nice thing about this is if you get into trouble but everybody's okay, you can downgrade it and let search and rescue know that they don't need to come in.
Okay, great. Let's move right on to the probes here and the shovels.
Right, so this is the mandatory avalanche gear, and we will say this is all great gear, but anybody going into the backcountry needs to take an avalanche skills course so they know how to use this gear and how to travel in the backcountry.
Not just have it, know what to do with it.
That's right. So this is a Tracker 3 from BCA. This is what we'd all wear. It is a transceiver, so it can find and send a signal. And so if you get buried in an avalanche, this is what we use to find you under the snow, because we can't see you. Then we use this to pinpoint you, which is a probe, and it turns into a long pole. And then we know actually how far you're down. And then the hard work begins. We
just got to start digging.
We
These
need
collapsible shovels are small. They can go on your pack. They're not that heavy to carry. A quick question for you about like the Echo in my ski jacket.
The Rico system.
Rico.
So
how does that work?
How it works is it's sort of a body find. It's not going to find you quickly. It's sort of if you go down. So it's a great thing they've added to clothing, but this stuff is way more important.
This is the real stuff. Okay, what about this right here?
So if you throw that backpack on, this is an Avalanche backpack from Backcountry Access, and all this gear can be had at Mountain Equipment Co-op, so you can go in there and they'll show you. And then when you're in the backcountry, you have all your gear in there. You can have your radio communication. This has it right here, so it's all hooked into the system.
Oh, great. Okay.
And then on this side here is your avalanche trigger. So when you get into avalanche terrain, you'd pull that out, and then if you do get into an avalanche,
you pull it like a parachute.
Just pull that. Pull it. Yep. Right. And And so what it does is now it kind of makes you a bigger nut. And if you shake a bunch of nuts, the big ones always rise to the top.
Okay.
We're small, so we generally go under an avalanche, and this makes you bigger, so you will find you on the top, and then we don't have to dig you out. And also you're breathing. So
how long does it take for this thing to deploy?
It takes about, like, as long as you pull it, it's not even that. It's 3 or 4 seconds to go into full deployment. So it's very, very
And we've
cool.
seen these used successfully.
Oh, yeah. The rate of success with an Avalanche backpack for skiing, snowboarding, or sledding is huge. It's in the snowmobile community, it's pretty much everybody has one now.
Incredible.
And it starts slowly creeping into ski touring and all that.
Thanks so much. Dave Norona was in to give us some updates before we head into the backcountry. Coming up